This conference
is
will
being
now be recorded.
wonderful. My request is accepted. So, guys, once again, welcome. 3 minutes over. We do respect the time, and the window is open, the room is open. The day one, everyone is welcomed. Okay, so the topic for which we all are meeting over here is not only a futuristic topic, but it is the one of the most hottest topic for us, the networkers in the industry today. Specifically, those who are directly or indirectly into the field of ACI, into the field of data center, the software defined networking. So, but before even starting this particular topic, the always demand is what we are going to cover. First of all, let me make a simple, humble request to you. Please do make this session a very interactive session. This is not only a demo session wherein I'm going to present you what exactly is this topology, this technology having the specific topology, but also that we are going to talk about a lot of things. I know that this terminology called ACI is quite well known to all of you, and your job is seeking this particular technology from you, just like you guys that I am also one of you. Okay, so before starting this, I definitely will take couple of pauses, stop myself voluntarily to give you guys a leverage to ask the question. You can mute yourself and you can ask the question anytime. So, yes, the moment I'll hear a sound coming from your side, I will immediately pause, and there was a sound coming. So, any question? No, the sound is gone. So, guys, the topic is application centric infrastructure, module 2 of our CCIE data center curriculum. The intention of this particular topic is to make you from where? From zero to hero in ACI. That means whatever you can think, imagine that these are the probable configurations which we can do in ACI. We are covering almost each and everything. I will not say 100% because there are couple of things which comes under the troubleshooting and operations of ACI. This particular course covers a certification called DC. I'm sorry, my marker is not going in my pen is not going in a proper speed because of the processor of my laptop. It's my bad. I should have restarted my laptop prior to. So this is called DCACI, Data Center ACI, and this is about implementation of our ACI. Noise, probably someone has unmuted to speak something. Any question? All right. So this particular topic is about data center application centric infrastructure, and we are focusing our attention over here on the implementation. Guys, once you are done with the implementation, then only the operations and troubleshooting comes. Objective is to make you hero to zero, not hero to zero, zero to hero. I beg your pardon. zero to hero in ACI. So this means that we do talk about this topic from scratch, and when it comes to scratch, it means we will be talking about what is ACI, why ACI, what is the topology, what are the hardwares to be discussed. We do take an understanding of the controller through which the complete configuration is done. We do talk about the protocols running inside ACI Fabric. We do talk about APIC, that is the controller maintenance, though it is an operation job, but I holistically believe that when you do the initial setup, and guys, there is a background noise coming. Please go on mute if you don't have any question, or else if the noise continues, if someone has joined and not able to uh, then we can find out from where the noise is coming. Indeed, uh, noise, and we can mute him. All of you guys, request you please mute. Okay, the noise. Mm, guys, out of so many, it's a bit difficult to mute. Uh, okay, thank you so much uh, for muting yourself, and other friends of us, they are joining. So it is a message to all of you guys. In case if you want to speak, you want to ask any question, please do unmute yourself and ask your question. This is not a conference. This is not something where you cannot speak. There is 100% democracy to speak. You can raise your voice, just but one at a time. So I was saying, this is nothing but this is our ACI implementation 0 to hero course. In this particular course, besides talking about our theory, we do talk about our controller maintenance. Why controller maintenance is so important, though it should be part of the troubleshooting, it is because that without understanding how to maintain your controller, you should not begin. This is the first level wherein you should look at inside yourself in your configuration, first configuration, to make sure that everything is duly configured. And in case if it is not being checked, guys, further on, if you do the configuration, it may lead to a complete cleaning of the fabric. So that particular component with complete due care to our configuration is being covered. We do talk about a control plane protocol. We do talk about the certain advanced components called the micro segmentation, called multi-pod, called multi-site. All the components are duly covered here as well. So quite important components we do discuss. The very common question which comes to us is, are we going to do lab? And the answer to that question, guys, I am really sorry, because my laptop CPU is showing very high today. I should have restarted my laptop, and now I don't want to, because the session is already started and I am not getting proper response. Oh, that's bad of me. Okay. About the labs, you can see total 14 labs over here, guys, but it is wrong. It's not 14. There are total 16 labs which we will be doing over here. Why? Because I have mentioned layer 2 out this particular lab as one, but it is two lab. We have other labs also. So talking about these labs, if you are comfortable in these labs, this means you are absolutely comfortable in ACI. This means you will be covering everything with the only component left over will be the operations, the and troubleshooting. And in case if you wish to, we can have some other course on operations and troubleshooting. Okay, before I give you a quick demo of what is ACI, would really truly appreciate you guys to ask a question about anything which is there in your mind.
Ashish, Himanshu this side.
Himanshu, dear friend, please go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So in your lab, are you like, will you include L4, L7 devices implementation as well with ACI?
Absolutely. Very good question. I was expecting. You know, L4 to L7 integration indeed is covered in our labs, and as part of our L4 to L7 integration, what we do configure our L4
Mhm.
and L7 devices like ASAV, Adaptive Security Virtual Appliance. The
Okay.
complete deployment of ASAV not only in a routed mode that is called layer 3 mode, but also in layer 4 mode. Now you may ask, L4 and L7 device doesn't mean ASAV, but absolutely true. But ASAV requires every L4 to L7 device requires a device package. Currently, we do have access only to download the Cisco's firewall device package. If you get us the device package of other devices, for example, checkpoint firewall or F5 load balancer, those can also be deployed. Once you know how to do it, definitely you can deploy other L4 to L7 devices. We are covering it over
Okay.
here, Himanshu,
Okay. So,
right?
what is the difference between somewhere you have mentioned D cloud and somewhere you mentioned lab guide? So, what will be the difference?
Okay. With regards to all the labs, the demonstration of which I'll give you,
Mhm.
the lab demonstration and availability will be provided to you on Cisco D Cloud.
Okay.
The whatever labs are there in Cisco D Cloud, there is a lab guide which is very difficult to understand. In case if you are going for the first time, probably you need to read it two times, three times, or four times to understand what this lab guide and the sequence is going on. What we have done over here is we have transformed that particular lab guide into a more pictorial, into a comic form, right? More lucid form, so that you can go through that particular flow and you can do the labs without reading anything, just by seeing the pictures, the connectivity, you can do the lab. So the D cloud labs you can very comfortably do. Guys, let me confess over here one thing. The thing is, the cloud labs do not provide us data plane connectivity. So management plane, whatever can happen through the management plane, configurations, etc., will be there, but data plane will not be there. But we have got a workaround for this, wherein I will show you where how can we break the failure or the absence of data plane, and we can still do the end-to-end ping test reachability. And I'm sure you will be convinced, and will tell you over there the complete end-to-end hop by hop traffic flow from one endpoint to another endpoint going through the ACI fabric, and that will definitely mesmerize you.
Okay. This is Pravesh. I just want to ask one question. Uh,
Praveen, go ahead.
uh, as per my understandings, I think now before the facility was there that you can book the lab on the D cloud, and now I think you have to get the assistance of any Cisco persons who is employee or something. So then you can book the lab. Is it correct?
Not at all. This is not correct. Yes, partially correct. In case if you just have a guest level access, which is called L1 or L2 level access to Cisco D Cloud account, then you cannot book the lab starting from 2020. It happened the day when the COVID-19 also started. All the Cisco D Cloud team also started working. Predominantly, they are in Mexico. They started working from home, and L1, L2 access to book the lab was removed. Only L3 level users can book the lab. If you have L3 level access, you can book the lab. If you don't have, then no worries. Any friend of yours who has L3 level of access can book the lab. You just need to share with him the Cisco user ID, your guest level user ID, wherein the lab will be shared with you, a mail will be generated, and you can do the lab,
Okay.
dear
But
friend
in this,
Praveen.
yeah, in this case, you will help us to get access to the lab.
I will I will definitely facilitate you.
All right. Okay. And what about the lab guides? Because I can see lab guides. So this is the Cisco lab guides, or some things that you have tweaked according to the requirements of certain scenario or topology.
As of I was telling you, with regards to each and every lab, dcloud lab, under resources tab, you will get to download the lab guide over there. The same lab guide is being transformed into more lucid form by us, and that is available in our portal. Once you are enrolled, you will get access to the portal. From there, you can download the lab, which is PPT converted into PDF format, which is more pictorial in the nature with regards to each and every step. Step is given in the flow process manner instead of a text-based manner, with the proper screenshots and the diagrams with each and every task.
All right.
So that
Um,
is, yep.
I have downloaded the ACI simulator and I installed on my server, so it's running fine. So can I use your lab guide in order to do the lab on my server as well, the simulator as well?
My dear friend Parvez, I will not at all recommend you to use the simulator, because the simulator which you have has a big limitation. It has got a limitation of only one single spine and two leaf switches without any virtual machine. But the
Well,
lab
actually,
which
yeah, actually there was two spines, two leaves, and three apex. Yesterday I tested it. So
two spines,
two spines, two
three
leaves, three
two leaf
apex.
and three apex. Okay, fine, fair enough. Do you happen to see some virtual machines over there as well?
Well, I just installed yesterday and I was trying to explore it. So far I have explored 2 spines, 2 leads, and 3 apples.
Okay, it's good. You have a latest version of the simulator. If
Yeah,
this
it's
simulator provides you the virtual machines as well, I will recommend you to please use it,
Mhm.
but there will be certain limitations.
Yeah, yeah,
You will
sure,
not
of
be
course.
able to perform, for example, the lab which I was talking about, L4 to L7 lab, because this particular lab requires the device package, right? So to be downloaded, to be uploaded first, and I do not have confidence on the simulator to provide you that particular facility.
All right.
So, all right, a couple of friends of mine who were using it earlier, and I took a demo of simulator. There, I was not convinced. There are limitations. So, simulator you can definitely use to access a controller to put all dummy configurations. Guys, background noise. Background noise. Hello. Would would appreciate you guys, those who don't have any question, those who don't want to talk, please go on mute. Thank you so much. It is a hygienic practice, and once again, thank you so much for accepting this hygienic practice. It's good for everyone who is there in the meeting room. Okay, so Parvez, I was suggesting you, if you have access to Cisco D Cloud, that should be your first choice. If you don't have, then second choice can be your simulator. But there are limitations in simulator. The very first is you need to see whether virtual machines are available or not. So, number one. Any other
Okay,
question?
great. Thanks. Thanks. No, not at
Y- you're welcome, Parvez. Thank you so much. Any
Uh,
other question from any? Yep.
yes, Ashish Bipin here. So D cloud is enough for us to perform the ACI lab, I believe, right?
Yes, it is very much sufficient to perform your ACI labs.
And we'll get all the lab instruction on your portal, right, on the website.
Absolutely. You will get the proper lab guides on the portal, on the website. The access is given to all the enrolled students, and from where you can download the lab guide. You can practice through the same, and the same lab guide is the one which I do use to give the demonstration, so you will not find any difference in terms of the demonstration and what lab guide is there in your hand.
All right. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Can you tell me your name? Bipin. Oh, yeah. Yep,
E-
Bipin.
yes.
Okay,
Ashish, can
so
we use EVNG for this as well if you try?
no, my friend, Evengy is not at all capable because Evengy requires the operating system, and Cisco has not released the ACI operating system for Evengy. So I checked with the Evengy guru also. His name is Uldesi, is one of my friend in LinkedIn. So he said, no, it's not possible in Evengy. I will not not recommend you to spend your time in fixing, or initializing it in Eventy. When you have 24 by 7, 365 days available tool with you, why should you go for Eventy? And guys, when I'm saying 24 by 7, 365 days, I really mean it. I'll facilitate you to have the lab available for you at your discretion, say for 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, as holistically you need without wasting the resources. And of course, we should not. Question. No question. Yes, I holistically believe that
Uh,
lab queries are always the main important
is
queries. That where will I do the lab? Yep, someone.
I don't know, it's too advanced questions, but is it possible that you can just show us the glimpse of the lab,
Show what of the lab?
the lab guide?
Okay, sure. All your questions are going to be catered here. So let me give you a look of the lab guide which I do use, ACI labs. Uh, this is first set without multi-pod, multi-site, and then another set with multi-site and multi-pod. Will be explaining you, for example, let me go to one of the lab, any lab of your choice, guys. You may think that 10 labs, because I have not broken ASAV into two parts over here. I have to break layer 2 out into two parts over here. So total becomes, 12 labs over here, plus more on multi-pod and multi-site. Okay, so let me give you a glimpse of one of the most important lab. This is called on Bmm Integration. This is the lab which is mother of all the labs. All the labs means 90% of the labs. This is what I was telling you, my dear friend Parvez, that you need this particular lab. In this particular lab, what we talk about, the topology, we look at into the connectivity of the leaf and the spine switches, where our controller is. Before it, definitely we talk about something called server virtualization. So in this particular lab, the lab before VMM integration, VMM stand for Virtual Machine Manager. What is Virtual Machine Manager? It is something related to VMware. We talk about the server virtualization concept, how server virtualization is done. I'm just giving you a glimpse of it, not explaining you, right? What is the concept of our virtual standard switch, how the networking is done, and then we do talk about our network virtualization. We do learn over here how to manage our entire VMware infrastructure, how to push a switch, how to connect a switch, distributed virtual switch. Of course, prior to it, we do set a differentiation between distributed virtual switch, and we do see all of them in our vSphere vCenter server, and this is very much doable. We do talk about the concept of distributed port groups, or also known as EPGs. We do learn over here how to connect our virtual machine with those port groups, and how to make sure that virtual machines, they can interact with each other. Guys, let me tell you that this is a universal virtual network virtualization concept. You talk about VMware, you talk about Kubernetes, you talk about any other virtualization platform. In all the virtualization platform, same is the concept, but with different terminologies. Okay, so then we talk about the configuration, which we call as physical configuration. Of course, prior to it, an analogy of the GUI based configuration we do establish with CLI, because all of us, we are coming from CLI platforms. We are more comfortable in configuring a switch in a CLI mode. So prior to this particular lab, we do understand it, and then we just talk about the flow of our configuration. Of course, each and every component, because there are going to be so many new terminologies like interface profile, interface policy group, interface profile, in switch profile. These are the new terminologies, but guys, it is nothing but old wine in a new bottle, so we need to understand that particular new bottle. We are well acquainted with the old wine, the taste of old wine. So we will be pouring our old wine in a new bottle, and that new bottle is a GUI. The name of the bottle is GUI. The wine is same. We will be talking about it, and then how to do the virtual networking complete flow in a most lucid form. Anyone, if you share this lab guide, you have this lab guide, you share this lab guide, I'm sure he will have difficulty in understanding it, but not in case if you are there in the class, because in the class we do not believe in simply mugging up the things, but doing the hands-on. So all pictorially is being presented over here. The same PPT I do convert in PDF. I have already converted in PDF available in our portal. I'll give you a demo of the portal where you will get to see all these information, and we do talk about it. The logical topology, how to set it, the flow of the logical, the relationship between the components, how to do the Bmm integration, and the checks. And that's something do it yourself also we talk about, and that's all. Over here, you will not see anything which is just a simple screenshot and paste. Okay, one. So since I was talking about those guys, those friends of mine who are from an ongoing batch, please excuse me, as there are some new friends and they are looking for something more. So guys, we have got our website by the name of Stringznet uh, .com. Once you will enroll yourself, you will be given a login credential where you will log in and your account will be activated. This is me user account. Course will be allocated to you, which you can find under your login. You will have leverage to put your, we will request you to put your photograph also over here. Under my courses, you will have the courses for which you will enroll yourself. For example, if you enroll yourself for Cisco ACI, Cisco ACI will be provided to you. If you click your enrolled course, you will get to see the, first of all, on the very first tab, class videos, wherein all the class videos are already uploaded. In case you cannot attend a class, then before the next class, you can go through the class.
सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
We can't
Sorry,
hear your
we
voice.
cannot hear you. We cannot hear you, sorry.
You there?
No, sorry.
We cannot, we cannot hear anything.
Ashish sir, can you hear us? Are we audible to you, sir?
Guys, can you hear me? Hello?
हाँ सर अभी आवाज आ रही है. Yes, you are audible, sir.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Really do not know what was wrong. Uh, please do, that's very important. Please do communicate in case if I'm not audible enough. So, guys,
Sure.
rest of you people, can you confirm? Am I good? Decently
Yes.
audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Yes.
we can listen
Okay.
to
Screen
you.
is
Yes.
not yet shared yet.
I'm sorry, Nishant.
Sir, screen is still not shared yet.
Screen, let me unshare and reshare the screen once again. Mm, I'm
Yes, it
sharing
is
now.
visible. It is visible.
Visible. Okay. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
guys. That is called the effect of communication. So that is the reason I keep on requesting you, please do not make our communication just a unilateral communication. Please do communicate, shout, raise your voice the moment you feel that something you are not able to get. Okay, so I was just showing you the website. Once you will enroll, you will get access to this. The access to download the lab workbooks, access to watch the all the class videos, right? And not only that, access to download certain incredible PDF books, which are pretty expensive if you try to buy them from Amazon or somewhere else. So not all, but some of the book. For example, the very first book, Deploying ACI, the complete guide to planning, configuring, and managing application-centric infrastructure. Some of the PDFs are easily available, and some of the PDF, over the period of time, I have found them, made it available for you guys to take the maximum advantage of it. In total, for ACI, you will get an access to download 6 different PDF files. And last but not the least, would request you guys to please do keep on providing your feedback. The feedback tab is available any moment if you feel that you are not satisfied, right? The feedback need not be negative always. So, or if you really want to appreciate the efforts, you can give your feedback. Your feedback will go to the management. Management will come to me. And in case if I need to be screwed, they will screw me. I need to be given a suggestion, they will definitely suggest me. So your feedback, something. So just a demo of the resources, ACI resources. Okay. Any question? All right. So I just told you about the course
Um,
content. Yep.
Question: how long this
Please.
course is, and how many hours per day?
Very good question. Extremely valid. You know, we holistically believe to do definitely a zero to hero course covering all the topics which I told you, considering the fact it will take minimum of 4 weeks. From my experience, it will stretch to 6 weeks, means 1.5 months. How much time every day? 1 hour minimum every day. As in case if some lab is going on, cannot be completed in 1 hour, then definitely time can be stretched to 1.5 hours. Make sense?
Yep. Thanks.
You are always welcome. Any other question from any corner, from any one of you? If no question, no worries. The question window is open as always. Let me quickly show you something. A quick little explanation of our ACI. Not this is the lab. All right. So I was telling you, you asked me about the lab guide. I showed you this lab guide. Besides this, we have got our multi-pod and multi-site lab guide also. So this is our advanced on Cisco ACI multi-pod and multi-site. This is with complete multi-pod and multi-pod explanation, configuration, everything. Guys, let me confess one more thing over here. Multi-pod lab is very expensive, very, very expensive. Cisco D Cloud even could not have managed to deploy this particular lab. My hands are tied over here, but we do have the each and every step-wise configuration with the proper CLIs wherever it is required. Yes, in multi-pod, CLI configurations are also there. And the screenshot of the configuration. With this particular knowledge, 100% surety that you will be able to deploy ACI multi-pod in case if you get the opportunity to. So there are certain limitations even in Cisco D Cloud. Those limitations are our limitations also. So, and one more thing, please ask me any blunt question and I will give you as a trainer, right? I will give you an absolute honest answer. If it is doable, yes, it is doable. If it is not doable, I will simply refuse it. But you will not get any false or sweetened answer. No, it's not going to be there. with us. Okay.
Okay, following this lab guide, um, the steps are defined there. So if we go step by step, we can configure the whole multi-pod and multi-sites ACI.
Absolutely.
Okay, even so,
But
the decloud limitations are there, but I'm just talking about the lab guides. So the lab guides is really precise, and it will guide us step by step in order to complete the task.
absolutely. But let me tell you, since you asked this question, there is something beautiful, and the beauty of our Cisco D Cloud. Our Cisco D Cloud, though, is not able to provide us ACI multi-pod lab, but when it comes to ACI multi-site, we have the beautiful lab with us. And where did I keep it? We have our ACI multi-pod lab, and it is very much doable in our Cisco D Cloud. So,
So,
uh,
so there's a
yeah,
possibility in the decode both multi-pod and multi-site, correct?
multi-pod is not at all possible in D Cloud, but yes, multi-site is possible. This is our multi-site lab. Uh, Transformed from D Cloud, and this lab has got how many beautiful tasks? Four different scenarios in which we do cover all the aspects, including the migration of our configuration from one data center into another data center. The last scenario is divided into four different parts, and the last part is how to do the migration. And you know what, from my personal experience as well as from your experience, the migration is something which is very much in demand today, and we
Correct.
do cover.
And what about the L2 out and L3 out? So the lab guides are there.
Well, not by words. Let me show you the lab guide which I was talking about, the L2 and L3 out covered over here. The last lab in our first section is
Yeah.
our L2 out. L2 out has got two variants. Probably if you have heard of L2 out, I'm sure you would not have heard of that there are two different variants of L2 out deployment, and I do cover it. In total, I'm so sorry, 221 slides. So wherever there are limitations, so in L2 out, yes, we do have the explanation of two different variants of L2 out. One is called L2 out extending the EPG, other is called L2 out extending the bridge domain. Kindly
Yeah.
be noted, once again, there is a data plane limitation available, all right, because of which I may not be able to show you end-to-end communication. But if you holistically understand it, you will be able to do it. But with regards to most of the labs which were there in previous version, right? I do have the previous recordings done on the hardware spine and the leaf switches. I will be sharing that recording wherein I will show you the end-to-end data plane communication as well. But dcloud do not have this particular facility, so you probably will not be able to check data plane communication. We are working on it to provide you the hardware labs as well. We are in communication with. So let's pray. We
Okay. My
may.
last questions. How much?
Yep.
Okay. My last question. How much percentage of the lab guides those are provided by you? Uh, we will be able to do the practice on the cloud.
How much percentage? See, whatever I am providing to you, except multi-pod, you can practice everything without data plane verification. All right, what you cannot practice, let me tell you that also. The very first lab, that is called a lab on bare metal host. This particular lab requires the physical device presence and their connectivity to the leaf switches. In the data D cloud, they have not connected any bare metal device with the leaf switches. So anything where in bare metal connectivity to the leaf switches is required, that you cannot do in D cloud. It is not there. And on this base, on the basis of this particular connectivity, there is another lab called layer 3 transit routing, which also requires the same topology, that is also not provided in dcloud, so you cannot do that as well. But yes, dummy configurations, if you want to do the dummy configurations, you will be able to do, but the data plane check you cannot verify in dcloud.
All right, thanks.
You are welcome as always. Any blunt question, guys, if you have? Or I'll take just 5 minutes to give you a quick look on our theory sessions as well. In the theory, right, we will be talking not of the technology which is giving us welcome to future. This is called welcome to the present. The future has become a present now. We will be talking about the technical introduction of ACI, in which we will be talking about lot many new terminologies, certain new words which are hovering around us many times, but at the same time, we will be having something ACI. We will try to understand the logic of ACI with so many new terminologies, very frequently well known around us, like multi-tenancy, micro-segmentation. Well, on the multi-tenancy, our entire ACI is dependent on. Micro-segmentation is today's buzzword, one of the most important component. But you know, when we will come to the micro-segmentation lab, we will be critically evaluating this micro-segmentation with its actual application. And over here, we will be critically saying that there could be better solution than the micro-segmentation solution as provided by our ACI fabric. I will tell you what are those better solutions, because it is nothing but micro-segmentation is our end host security. So you are going to see, once you are done with micro-segmentation, a better end point security mechanism by third party. Okay, no marketing. We will not be talking about marketing. In case if you people are from network operations field, definitely you can share the pains. I have also worked in network operation. I will share my pains of network operations, and we will look at into what a typical network engineer thinks and what an ACI expert thinks, guys. You will be moving yourself from a typical thinking of a typical network engineer to an approach of an ACI expert once you are done with this particular course. Anyway, all right. So config and all traditional networking, we will have a quick discussion on our three-tier architecture, core, distribution, and access. We will be saying, no, this is not the way we do connect us. We have a better connectivity, which is not at all going to be an old fashioned, but it is going to be old wine but in a new bottle. As Thomas Edison said, there is always a better way to do it in a much better way. And we will be talking about in this entire journey of ACI, we will be interacting ourselves with certain new terminologies. I will not at all be making you to mug up those terminologies like what is this is a not a grayed out, right? Don't consider this as a grayed out. One of the most important terminology called attachable access entity profile. What is this? What is L2 out? What is L3 out? What is EPG? This subnet terminology is not going to be that particular terminology which we have seen earlier. We are going to talk about filters, contract, and the virtual machine manager domain and interface selector. What are private networks, physical networks, switch profile, bridge, tenant? Not only what you are seeing over here in this particular slide, but more than that, you will come across in this particular ACI journey of yours. So, what is ACI networking? What are the devices? How they are connected to it? What are the controllers? How do they form their cluster? Guys, our very first lab will be a lab in which we will learn about. Guys, I know my alarm is ringing, the time is over, but I will not be taking much time of yours. I know just simply listening requires a lot of attention. I don't want you to lose the attention. So we will be talking about how to do the initial configuration of these boys over here. This is going to be the initial setup. Though these gentlemen, they are not connected to each other, but we will be looking at into how they are going to form one single family called a big cluster. We will be seeing, as I told you, in case if any one of the device is misconfigured, how to fix the configuration from the other devices. What is the role of CIMC? Probably you might have heard of a terminology called ILO, integrated lights out, which is nothing but a specific type of port used in HP servers. The same is known as SIMC over here. We will be learning over here how to make an unhealthy controller as a healthy controller back again through our SIMC access. Right. Well, please ask me a question in case if you have. We will be discussing about different ways of configuring our ACI fabric. Well, what is ACI fabric? This connectivity, what you do see over here is known as ACI fabric. I feel like giving rest to my pen now. Time up for me, not for you. Question back again. Any blunt question from your side? Please throw all the questions to me. Don't leave the room without getting all your queries, questions, doubts answered, guys. Okay. All right. If no questions, then we are good. Today is Monday. Let me wish you a very great and happy and successful week throughout. Well, we will be starting this class from next week, Monday, as currently our VXLAN lab has to be started. So VXLAN lab will take this particular week as a whole with complete detailed explanation. And so I'm just pausing ACI for 4 working days. That is on 5th working day, that is next Monday, we will be coming up back again with ACI. Meanwhile, your dear friend, our dear coordinator, he will contact you, and any question, any queries, etc. if you have, you can definitely get them answered.